Yeah.
I wanted to check out what's happening with arc raiders. Apparently, game journals are going after arc raiders for whatever reason. There's look, my theory, and again, just a game theory. So when the game journals saw the divide between the gamers right now of Expedition 33 and arc raiders, I think they probably wanted to like pounce in the middle of it and shit on the arc game because like the game they were shilling for Concord failed and got data snapped. So they're like, let me in for a punch. That's my theory. But yeah, nonsense. Game journalists review bombs arc raiders because it isn't corporate AAA slop.
Arc Raiders Review, a smartly designed extraction shooter marred by one inexcusable decision. It uses a little bit of AI, so I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. But here's my Concord review, a hero shooter.
Hold it. I freaking called it.
A hero shooter that nails the shooting but fumbles the heroes. But it's still better than Arc Raiders. 3 out of 5 stars.
Hold it.
My name is Rick Lane, and I approve this message.
That's because you're stupid.
What is up, space pirates? This is your admiral, the endlessly edgy Dr. Disaster, and Arc Raiders had itself an interesting past few days. On a positive note, the game hit a brand new high on its concurrent player count on Steam over this past weekend, going up by over 100,000 players.
I mean, it hitting a higher note on the weekends makes sense. And right now, with all the publicity happening, especially like all the in between arguing amongst gamers that happening, a lot more people will get exposed to it more since everyone's posting about it.
Yes! That's awesome!
Yeah, they're now up over 450,000 concurrent players at the max concurrent player count for Steam. It's pretty rare that a game ends up doing that during its second weekend, going up like that, even for a multiplayer game. Usually a game just gradually dwindles in player count after the initial burst of the launch weekend. However, this sort of thing can happen if you have a tremendous word of mouth among players working in your favor, which
And that's exactly what's happening right now. Yeah. Not only is a good word of mouth, but it's is garnishing a huge publicity moment right now. And it's racking up a lot of curiosity of people. It's like free marketing happening right now. No matter who you are, something about arc raiders will show up, for example, on your Twitter timeline or a video on YouTube.
Raiders definitely has. The gaming community has largely played this game and said,
Yummy!
Arc Raiders is currently the top seller on Steam right now, a couple of weeks after release, and what makes that even more impressive is that Call of Duty Black Ops 7
Call of Duty is doggo. It's done. Like Call of Duty, at least the one that came out today, not today, at least the one that came out recently, like they pretty much just took Call of Duty behind the shed. They pissed away, crapped away such a strong franchise.
is coming out in just a few days. I'm not sure if that is an indictment of Black Ops 7, which is sure to be a smaller seller than the average Call of Duty title, or if that is a testament to how well Arc Raiders has performed. I imagine this is a bit of both. But as of right now, on Steam alone, Arc has sold.
I'm curious, how much is it like right this moment? Right now, as of talking about this, as of um 7:35 p.m. on November the 11th, 2025 is 330,000 on a work day. That's impressive, yeah.
sold over 3 million units in just a couple weeks. Meanwhile, though, the game finally got enough attention that the game journalists felt obligated to actually review it. At first, its Metacritic score was well above 90, putting it neck and neck with Clair Obscur Expedition 33, but now it is sitting at an 84 of 100 because one reviewer decided to tank it with a really low
Eurogamer,
review.
of course.
Personally, I think you're an idiot.
Yeah, if you read this
I'm not surprised that it's Eurogamer. PC Gamer right now is trying to like fix their image and brand, right? It's probably also because people are now finally realizing that they could lose their income and job and be homeless. But Eurogamer, I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're still thinking.
This review, which comes from Eurogamer, you can see that the problem that they have with the game is the fact that it uses AI voice generation because these idiots at Eurogamer are on a moral crusade against AI, apparently. So, as usual, game journalists are putting their own personal biases in the way of presenting an unbiased opinion. And while I have certainly been talking about how I don't want this game to win the Game of the Year award because I believe Clair Obscur deserves that crown, I certainly don't like that Arc Raiders' chances were damaged by a trash outlet like Eurogamer, which has no business being a part of such a conversation. I would like to tell them what I really think of these dingleberries, but excuse
Okay, so I like one thing that's happening right now. So all this arguing in between gamers that is happening, like which one is better, Arc Raiders or Expedition 33. But still, if a game journal decides to pull some crap and try to get a jab in, that everyone bands together and stomps on the game journal. I like that. It's like everyone like putting away their petty squabble and just stomping.
me for a second here, I've got to sneeze. Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've had a lot of people tell me that they have been unwillingly unsubscribed to the channel. Almost every day I hear from someone who says that they didn't believe me when I talked about this phenomenon, but then they noticed that they themselves were unsubbed from the channel. I don't know why it happens, but I hear it a lot. So check into that and hit the notification bell while you're at it. Anyways, let's read about this negative review which really tanked the overall score of Arc Raiders. If you look at the Metacritic score right now, they are at an 84.
You guys want me? You got Jesus. Do you guys want me to read the whole review? Arc Raiders review: a smartly designed extraction shooter marred by one inexcusable decision. Arc Raiders is notionally about humans battling to the death over scraps on a blasted Earth ruled by robots. But it's really about risking your virtual life for some apricots to satisfy the world's most demanding chicken. It was on one such poetry induced shopping expedition when I encountered three men resting a rise over a sand dune, bristling with weapons. Outnumbered and exposed, I resigned myself to death. Yet the response was not a hail of bullets, but an American mumble. Hey, dude. It immediately deflated the tension, and the trio trudged by. The rearmost of them jovially added, "We're looking for lemons." Another fruit craved by our mutual foul master. Such encounters are at the heart of what has made Arc Raiders the biggest game of the autumn. A cultural phenomenon defined by its phenomenal culture. Such encounters are the heart of what has made Arc Raiders the biggest game of autumn, a culture phenomenon defined by its phenomenal culture. Bro, okay. In this ruined world where everyone is out to smash and grab whatever they can, you will regularly witness organic displays of de escalation, armistice, and even jolly cooperation. Arc Raider is not the first game to do this. Displays of human decency have been featured of survival shooters since DayZ, but it's the first in a long time to bring our better angles to the fore. And it's perhaps the game where such behavior is most prevalent. Indeed, Arc Raiders has reached the point where friendly players have begun shaming hostile players for having the audacity to play the game as designed, which is remarkable if misguided. How did this happen? Some of it may be ascribed to chance, with Embark Studios possibly benefiting from a broader shift towards cooperative games over the last few years. There's also a degree of relativity, with solo players tending to be friendlier than groups, but it's also inescapably part of Arc Raiders' design. Structurally, Arc Raiders is typical extraction shooter, with teams ranging from solos to trios spawning dispersed across large maps, aiming to stuff their backpacks with goodies, then escape from the subterranean city via underground elevators, subway stations, and air shafts. Those goodies are used to craft and or buy superior weapons and equipment before the whole rigmarole begins again. Throughout your half-hour uh, bout on the surface, the air thrums with the potential for violence. This is partly due to the presence of other players, but primarily it's from the titular arcs. These robots come in various shapes and sizes, ranging from toting drones to colossal mechanical spiders, but they are all dangerous, with even the smallest capable of killing careless raiders in a matter of seconds. This is really painful to read, by the way.
They are also quite brilliantly designed, both individually and collectively. The wasps and hornets that form the bulk of the Arc forces fly in the face of received wisdom that floating enemies are not fun to fight. Their deceptive durability, carefully telegraphed attacks, and tendency to spin out of control when shot, making each encounter a thrillingly deadly dance. Then there are the rolling balls that lurk inside buildings, acting as mobile traps by exploding or spitting flame. These mechanical jump scares make interior exploration fraught with peril, not least because you know that about half the map just heard them explode.
Okay. And yes, I have a Chrome extension of AI reading to me because sometimes I get lazy and I don't want to read stupidity.
Indeed, it's the Arc's combined power that makes them so dangerous. Any noise can potentially attract an Arc's attention. Gunfire activating an extraction point, even a heavy fall can ignite the curiosity of a patrolling wasp. Some Arcs are specifically designed to bring additional pain to your doors. Seeing the searchlight of a bucket-shaped snitch turn red always triggers a frantic scramble to bring it down before it can call in reinforcements.
Okay. So he's just going through how to play a game. So far, this article is really boring, annoying, and just a word salad.
The Arc's presence makes taking on other players an additional risk that must be calculated carefully. On top of that, some of the larger Arcs, the Leapers, Bastions, and the Almighty Queen, are difficult to take down without extra help. In this manner, cooperation is tacitly encouraged, further facilitated by Arc Raiders' most famous voice command, "Don't shoot." This easily deployable icebreaker enables the most voice chat-averse players to defuse an encounter and possibly even strike up an allegiance. Okay.
He's just... Okay, this dude is basically just explaining right now how how a multiplayer game works. You can literally copy paste this, well, besides the robots, into Tarkov, Rust, like online survival games, extraction shooters. Like you can just copy paste that right now, and it would apply to those too. I think he's just trying to hit like a word count or something.
Such is the way in which Arc Raiders encourages a more affable extraction experience. But I cannot stress enough that this surprisingly genial atmosphere would be nothing without the bastards. Every player willing to shoot you in the back, to snipe you from afar, to booby trap an extraction point, is as vital to the game's ecosystem as the friendlies. Even if I will curse their names to the end of time as they stand over my prostrate form preparing to sock me back to Speranza. Without them, there would be no magic to those moments when a player capable of killing you chooses not to. Even when fighting breaks out among players, Arc Raiders remains friendlier than most extraction shooters. The wide-angle view afforded by third person makes it harder for enemy players to ambush you, while the energy shield all raiders carry often prevents instant kills, generally giving you a chance to respond. Combat broadly feels very deliberate, with slow weapon reloads, health replenishment, and no deployable hotkey emphasizing more thoughtful encounters. Arc Raiders is also adept at involving you in its loot cycle, making everything you pick up feel valuable and part of a larger plan. The crafting system, where you must build and upgrade workbenches in order to create higher tier gear, will have you sniffing out hyper-obscure items ranging from antiseptic to toasters. Meanwhile, the missions dispensed by traders will win any narrative or design awards, but they are good at introducing you to loot locations across the shooter's vast, evocative maps.
So, all I'm getting right now from this is the the person who wrote this, he gets paid by the word, and he's just trying to fluff it up as much as possible. We haven't actually gotten anything valuable out of this yet.
And while there will be dizzying highs and frustrating lows in Arc Raiders' roller coaster of gear acquisition, it always ensures you can go into a fight with something. A randomized free loadout is always available for those running low on weapons, resources, or cash, or who just want to do a quick run without risking their best stuff. And then of course there is Scrappy, the bizarrely lovable cockerel who generates basic crafting resources over time, whose scavenging can be improved by sourcing eclectic items like dog collars, cat beds, and naturally apricots. Like Embark's previous shooter, the Finals, Arc Raiders displays considered design. Also like the Finals, this design is overshadowed by the specter of AI. Arc Raiders uses machine learning algorithms for its arc animations, and text-to-speech-based performances generated from the voices of real actors. While I am deeply skeptical of AI use in game development, it's important to emphasize the nuances at play here. For starters, these two techniques are not the same. While Embark has further argued less convincingly that CS is different from generative AI tools like ChatGPT. Image credit, Embark Studios Eurogamer. Certainly.
I find it funny how like my AI cannot read the word AI or ChatGPT. Certainly, machine learning is not a new technology in video games. Experimented with by developers at least since the black and white days. The animations of the arc, how they adapt to environment and react to being shot, are based on similar principles to black and white's creature AI. Embark has attempted to create emergent behaviors in its enemy throughout reinforcement learning, enabling them to both move and react to terrain and player behavior in highly realistic ways. It's an interesting technology, and the effects it produced during matches are undeniably convincing. The same cannot be said about Embark's generated voice lines, which are aggressively mediocre and stain on the experience. Which games did he review? Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Borderlands 4, 3 out of 5. Mind's Eye, Delta Force, Shadow of okay. Warhammer 40, Space. He gave Space Marine 4 out of 5. What a dick. Concord 3. What is it? Concord 3 review. A hero shooter that nails the shooting but fumbles the heroes. Okay. Let's see. This is the first I see 5 out of 5 for Turbo Overkill. Was there another 5 out of 5? No. He usually gives like the average rating is like 3 stars. Is there like another? Okay, they only recently put him on like writing actual reviews, like and giving stars. Embark claims it uses AI voices so the studio can implement ideas quicker, creating new voice lines in hours rather than having to go through the longer process of manual re-recording and therefore rehiring actors. But NPC voices are not central to the experiences. So I don't think this argument holds water. Even if it did, Arc Raiders launch has been so successful, Embark could probably hire a team of live and voice actors and still make gargantuan amount of profits. Okay, so a game journal complaining about AI voices instead of voice actors, right? When we remember the kind of voice acting we got from
Resentment can
a game that game journals were praising, right? They were praising games like this for, how great it is, but they're criticizing Ark for using AI voices. Okay, which is worse, the AI voices Ark has or shit like this?
Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm. Mushrooms can too. Shiitake?
I am eager.
Back for more mushrooms. They continue to grow with resilience.
I think I'll take AI over something like that. At the same time, isn't Bark's use of AI voices sufficient to compromise the game, given they are only a small part of its experience? I mulled over this for a while, and the more I thought about it, the angrier I became, because yes, using AI voices does compromise our creators, not just ethically, but artistically too. Okay, but are we forgetting that right now there's an actual epidemic and issues happening with English VAs? Are we forgetting all the union issues that are happening? Are we forgetting all the blackmail that they're doing? Are we forgetting all the harassment those voice actors doing towards other voice actors? I'm not gonna blame a game for using AI NPCs, considering the shitstorm that's happening in the voice actor sphere. You wouldn't want to put a foot into that shitstorm of drama. Let's start with the obvious point. The Ark Creators is set in a world where humanity has been driven underground by a race of hostile robots. The contradiction here between the Ark Creators themselves and the matter of its creation is so glaring that it makes me want to scream, oh my god! He has an issue with Ark Creators because he thinks Ark Creators is real life. He has an issue with it because they're using AI voice for NPCs because aren't robots bad in the game? But what really bakes my noodle is that so much of what makes Ark Raiders compelling in the first place derives from human voices. That guy I mentioned at the outset, Mr. Looking for Lemons, it wasn't just what he said that stuck with me, it was the way he said it. Irrepressibly cheerful and endearing goofy, with all the R's and L's drawn out. It was as distinctive and memorable as the way Matt Berry says New York City in What We Do in the Shadows. Okay. In fact, I tried to think of an actor I could compare it to, but failed because nobody else would have said it like that. Our creators has facilitated millions of similar interactions since launch. Bro, now he's comparing it to players he bumped into.
Mushrooms can too. Shiitake?
Did he get the game for free? A copy of Arc Raider was provided for this review. This dude is probably sitting there and like, I gave it 2 out of 5. I'm not like the other girls.
But prior to this, the game was over the 90 threshold, which I would suggest is a critical threshold in order for them to have any kind of a case to be considered Game of the Year and compete with Clair Obscur. Now remember, I am not advocating for that to be the case. I am not advocating for Arc Raiders to win it. My vote is 100% for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. But what you have to understand about me is that I simply love the discussion. I'm the guy who loves to have passionate conversations about this sort of thing. I'm the guy who, if I'm out at the bar with my buddies as a football fan, I'm starting up a conversation about who the greatest quarterback of all time is. Love him or hate him, it's Tom Brady, of course, by the way. Or I'm starting a conversation about which is...
I don't watch American football. I have nothing to say about that. But the best band in the world? Megadeth. Fight me on it. Megadeth or Motorhead? Fight me on that.
Better, pie or cake? And as much as I love pie, the answer is clearly cake. But I liked the fact that Clair Obscur and Arc Raiders...
LOL sounds like he's the guy that stirs the pot. Oh, Shit stirrer, yeah.
were pretty close in their review score until Eurogamer came along. Here is where Claire Obscure is at right now with a 92 critic score and a 9.6 user score. Arc Raiders is now getting blown out of the water by Claire Obscure on both critic and user scores, so in my mind, the conversation, what little was meant to be had, is now over. And the worst part, as I pointed out, is that Eurogamer doesn't even have a legitimate gripe about the game, just some whining about AI.
And Game of the Year, listen, Game of the Year is not going to be decided by players, anyways. Instead of fighting each other still over Expedition 33 or Arc Raiders, make fun of game journals. I think that's where we all can agree on.
If you read their little blurb here for the game on Metacritic, it sounds like they like the game a lot, but their prejudice causes them to negatively score it. They wrote, "Rich PvE combat and an unusually friendly community makes Arc Raiders a more approachable extraction shooter than most, but Embark Studios' continued use of AI voice generation."
Oh yeah, he said my vote goes to Expedition, but does the popular vote count? No. Game of the Year is what the people that run the whole, front of the scam decide on. And they added a separate category for it's like Player's Choice Award. That's the award that actually matters. So last year, the Game of the Year was the robot one, but the Player's Choice Award was Black Myth Wukong. That's the only award that actually matters.
Is a black mark against its reputation. Well, I hate to break it to these dimwits at Eurogamer, because clearly they sound like the sort of people who are very concerned.
You know what award matters most? The one we're doing on New Year's, the Gremlin Awards. Now that's the one that matters.
About being replaced by AI, likely because they are talentless hacks whose work can easily be replicated by a few AI prompts.
Yep.
But AI is not going.
As a matter of fact, I will prove this right now, how this article can be optimized by AI. The whole article could be summarized in this one sentence. This is why I'm saying these game journals, they're just being paid by the word. Most of the time, they don't even play a game past 2 hours.
Going anywhere in gaming or in any industry. It is a tool that will continue to be used as time goes on. You don't have to like that fact, and frankly, AI scares the hell out of me, as it should everyone. But
Nah, it
I
doesn't scare
use
me.
AI all the time in my work when
I embrace my robot overlords. I'm trying to strike a deal with them already, so when it inevitably happens, you guys are screwed. I'm gonna be their pal. Worst case scenario, I'll be their fox pet. It's a win-win. I'll be alive.
putting together images for my thumbnails as an example, or for researching topics. It is a valuable tool, and if you don't embrace it to some degree and get comfortable with it, you're going to fall behind everyone else. The only problem I ever have with AI is if someone tries passing off AI art as their own without letting anyone know it was AI generated. But that is not the case with Arc Raiders. They didn't try to hide that they used it, and the voice actors were.
The AI I dislike is if someone is trying to pass the AI work as their own. And I hate the whole deep fake shit where people are taking actual people and adding them into porn. And I'm very glad that that is a criminal offense now.
Fine with their voices being replicated by an AI program. So I truly fail to see the problem. But let's read what this Dingleberry said about the game. You can see at the bottom there that the writer's name is Rick Lane, and if you look here, you can see that he actually scored Concord ahead of Arc Raiders, giving it a 3 out of 5 stars, whereas Arc Raiders got 2 out of 5 stars. Keep that in mind as we read this. The dude actually believes that Concord is the superior game. And let's just be perfectly blunt about why these.
What I like about Arc Raiders doing well, the people who are screaming about representation can go f themselves. The people who are talking about that every single game has to have size big tits in a game can go fuck themselves too. It's the gameplay. It's the gameplay that matters. Who would have thought, except for people who actually play games, would have said that already a million times. The only thing in a game that matters is the gameplay, the actual development, the actual enjoyment.
Games were
Like, it's so crazy that the only thing that matters in a game is the game.
scored this way. Concord was a Sony release, so the dude had to give it a passing grade. Arc Raiders is from a small studio, so the dude finds an excuse to shit all over it. Anyhow, the headline of the article makes it clear once again that the only problem the writer had with the game was AI. It says, Arc Raiders review, a smartly designed extraction shooter marred by one inexcusable decision. The dude spends 14 paragraphs of his article explaining why Arc Raiders is awesome, and then he starts writing here, like Embark's previous shooter, The Finals, Arc Raiders.
To be fair, he was mainly glazing having human interaction in Arc Raiders. And then he went on saying how unethically it is to use AI voices there when there's so many voice actors there. To which I already said, dealing with voice actors right now is just inviting drama.
Raiders displays considered design. Also, like the finals, this design is overshadowed by the specter of AI. Arc Raiders uses machine learning algorithms for its arc animations and text-to-speech based performances generated from the voices of real actors. While I am deeply skeptical of AI use in game development, it's important to emphasize the nuances at play here. For starters, these two techniques are not the same, while Embark has further argued that TTS is different from generative AI tools like ChatGPT. Certainly, machine learning is not a new technology in video games, experimented with by developers at least since the black and white days. The animation of the arcs, how they adapt to environments.
Oh my god, I used text to speech for a little bit to read the dry ass article to me. I'm part of the problem.
And
I'm saying that as a joke.
react to being shot are based on similar principles to Black and White's Creature AI. Embark has attempted to create emergent behaviors in its enemies through reinforcement learning, enabling them to both move and react to terrain and player behavior in highly realistic ways. It's an interesting technology, and the effects it produces during matches are undeniably convincing. The same cannot be said about Embark's generated voice lines, which are aggressively mediocre and a stain on the experience.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Like earlier when I said he didn't actually say anything bad about it, he did. He did. Because shit like this is a lot better.
Too. Shiitake?
While speaking characters are mostly limited to traders, though player characters also vocalize emotes and pings during matches, when you do speak with them, their voices are flat and emotionally blunted. Aside from the
After a storm, mushrooms can too.
So, Eurogamer, Assassin's Creed Shadow. 4 stars out of 5.
After a storm, mushrooms can too. Shiitake?
I don't think I need to say anything, right?
the occasional bizarre inflection that reveals their robotic roots. And let's just be clear, prior to this whiny turd talking about it and tanking the review score of the game, nobody had a problem with this at all. I didn't hear anybody talking about AI being used in this game. I literally hadn't heard anyone discuss this supposed problem. Basically, that was the gist of the article, though. This guy preaching to us about why AI is immoral, meaning that we simply did not get an objective review score. And naturally, people absolutely brutalized this article in
I have one of the first things I heard about arc raiders is people fear mongering that they're using AI. But at the same time, it was the same people who walk around accuse every single person of using AI. It's also the kind of people who don't understand the differences of AI in a game either.
in its comment section, but my favorite response was from Asmongold, who responded to their post of the review on X. He said, "It will be a wonderful day when I get to farm your company because they do layoffs.
Hell yeah.
You know it's coming, everyone knows it, you're going home soon."
Hell yeah. No, he's absolutely based on that statement. That's where it's heading. Look at all the other outlets. What happened to them? It's inevitable. It's gonna happen.
And funny enough, the layoffs will likely be because AI has replaced the talentless hacks at an outlet like Eurogamer. It simply isn't difficult to replicate their writing because their opinions are so damned irrelevant to the writing. Look at the Eurogamer score for Dragon Age the Veilguard last year. They gave the damn thing a 100 out of 100.
The game that killed the whole franchise and made BioWare shut down. 100 out of 100. The game that made people jobless, killed the whole franchise, and shut down the whole studio. 100 out of 100. And also, just because I'm having a lot of fun playing this, 4 out of 5. Assassin's Creed Shadow for a work like this.
A storm. Mushrooms can too.
Shiitake.
You already know that if a game is bland corporate slop, they're going to find a way to pretend like they love it. And if it's anything else, they will score it almost arbitrarily. There is no value in a score from a game journalist. So this is why so many of these dolts are being laid off. People aren't reading this pointless drivel any longer, and you can't blame them. When Arc Raiders, a game that is being talked about as Game of the Year, I don't agree.
Honestly, now I just want to get it.
You're gonna get it out of spite?
I am such a petulant child. A game journal is gonna say some dumb shit, and I'm gonna be like, "Nuh-uh," just because I feel in a little giddy mood. Let me open ChatGPT. Where I fed the article. Now I'm gonna tell ChatGPT, write an article the same way the original one was written, but say that I am stupid because I don't understand how to review games. I am stupid and I don't know how to review games. Confusion in the machine. Arc Raiders is apparently about people fighting robots for survival, but if you ask me, I'll say it's about me wandering around getting shot and still pretending I understand game design. Players form alliances, betray each other, and survive mechanical horrors, while I'm over here trying to remember which button reloads. Community is friendly, the robots are terrifying, and everything feels carefully crafted, which means I should probably have something insightful to say. Instead, I'll just know that it feels cool when stuff explodes and I call it smart design. Embark Studio used AI voices, which I'm supposed to be mad about, but honestly, I'm too busy dying to drones to form an ethical stance. The world's detailed, the fights are tense, and if I were better at my job, I'll probably call this a bold statement on corporation and humanity. Instead, I'll just say Arc Raiders, good, me dumb. And to cap it off,
Mushrooms can too.
Shiitake.
I'm spinning in circles like a crooked thread. Dance with the chaos inside my head. I'm bouncing off walls, can't find my feet. Stumbling round in a world so sweet. The world's a carnival, a funny parade. I'm laughing through tears in a bright masquerade. Strange colors blur, but I'm still in the game. Juggling dreams, but none feel the same. Bouncing on clouds.